I'm gonna give you a tour. This is the garden. And it is, what, like the middle of June? It's still kind of cold at night. We got down to 36 last night. So it's kind of like a fall, it's like a cold weather garden mixed with some summer stuff. We haven't really had summer yet. So in the entry, this is parsley going to seed. And then I have my little a bird bath, but it's actually for bees. So there's not much water in there so they don't drown. And then pansy. And these are poppies. They'll bloom later. They're going to be so pretty. Oh, there's a little flower bed. And this tall one, this is valerian. There's a little bee on it. Oops, sorry, bee. It smells really good. And the root is valerian root, which you can use as a sedative, like if you make tea from it. I've never tried it yet, but if I ever needed it, I have. It's like poor man's Valium, I think they call it. And then on this side, I have planted, I think this is Texas hummingbird mint. This stuff here should come back every year. I'm trying for like the third time to do flowering peas. They're small still though. Celosia, but I got a lot of bugs. Eventually they'll get so big though, they'll overcome the bugs. Some random lettuce that came up. I just left it because it's pretty. And then this is calendula. And then thyme with a honeybee on it. So I have these kind of like flowers, so it attracts the pollinators to the garden. So on this side, all along the front, I have sunflowers. So they'll be all sunflowers, and they point, and it's nice because they point their heads at the house. So because sometimes sunflowers point their heads the wrong way, and your neighbor sees them and you don't get to see them. And then I have onions. These are Walla Walla sweet onions. A whole row, and then this is like a storage onion, and then this row is another type of storage onion. They're kind of small still, but hopefully they'll start growing. This is my zucchini. I've got some different kind. I think there's like green ones, and there might be a yellow one. And I have to thin them out. I planted the seeds directly in the ground this year, and normally I get lots of slugs, so I overplanted. But I didn't have that bad of slugs this year, so I'll eventually pick the strongest plant of each cluster. And then this row is, here's just a random sunflower. I was like, you can stay. This is going to be a winter squash called delicata. And there's this is just some random amaranth plant. I left him, but this is going to be the delicata plants. And there's like one there. They're like alternating. And then this one here is another winter squash called sweet dumpling, which is really good. They're really small right now. And then I have like some weeds, but this is a nitrogen fixer, so I left it. And this weed makes a flower. It's borage, so I left this for the bees. And then this is my cornfield, my little cornfield. You can kind of see some of the corn. It's a blue corn. We're going to make cornmeal from it. And then all along this back here is raspberries and blackberries. Let's get closer. And they are just now setting fruit. There's going to be so many. And then the blackberries are over here. And I have a couple different types. This one is a thornless. And it's, as you can see, actually this one's better. You can see the little blackberry babies. These are all blackberries, and these are the raspberries. And then cornfield. Oh, and I have a grape plant back there. I guess we can go back there. Let's see. And this is how I give my weeds to the chickens. I come through here and I throw them. Hi, chickens! So they get to eat bugs and weeds from the garden. And I can access them super easy through this little walkway. This is from the grape plant. Baby grapes. And then I have sage back here. And I'll pick the leaves and dry them a little later. And then we use this like to make sausage, like breakfast sausage. And then back here is kind of random, an artichoke, but we don't really eat artichoke, but they're really pretty when they open up as flowers. This is more borage. Bumblebees and honeybees love it. So I grew it one year and it reseeds itself everywhere. So I let it stay as long as it's not in an annoying place. And then I got some random potatoes that just came up on their own, so they get to stay too. Here's an artichoke. Alright, so let's see, back here. So the corn, and then I have this bed. This is my carrot bed. But right now I like to grow carrots in the later summer. That way they finish when the weather gets cold and they get sweeter. They get more sugars in them. This is arugula going to seed. And then I've got this beautiful lettuce. It's like a red lettuce. This is head lettuce. This is the first time I grew it. It's really cool. There's actually like a head of lettuce. It's like a head of lettuce in there. And then some other random lettuce. There's like a random carrot coming up from last year. And then on this side I've got potatoes. It's a raised bed and it has a protecting screen on the bottom so the voles can't come up and eat the potatoes. Potatoes. Chamomile, not flowering yet, but we make tea from it. I've got some ornamental, like those like warty looking gourds that you can decorate your house with for Halloween. And then I've got a tomato. This is like a bush tomato. It grows the little cherry tomatoes. Random, just kind of beans. A lot of bug damage, but I think they'll be okay because the new leaves are right there. Another little cherry tomato. And these are tomatillos. These are so cool. They grow in like these lanterns and then the fruit is on the inside of there. I can kind of feel if you squeeze it. So I've got 2 of those. And then on this side I've got peas. And they're just starting. I saw a pea yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. A pea. But these are like shelling peas, so I'll let them actually fill out and then we'll have the peas. And we also eat the shoots. Like this part right here. That part tastes really good in salads. So, alright, what else we got? The citrus plants are in here for the summer. They don't look so great. They're going to go live in the greenhouse. I think they're running out of room in these pots. But I've got some, I think these are lemons. And there's a lime. This might be the lime, I'm not sure. Plus it's been so cold at night. I don't think they like when it gets down to 30. And then here I've got, this is kale. This is what happens when kale goes to seed. It's crazy. And these are the little seed pods. And I left them on there because the bees love the flowers. But I've got parsley. These are yellow peas. And we use these as in stir fry, like a snow pea. I like that. They're really easy to find, to pick, because they're yellow. And I got these tall kales. I'll rip these out soon when they're done flowering. Because the bees are on them now. I feel bad for ripping them out now. Then over here, because it's still very cool here, I've got cabbage. So they haven't even started forming heads yet. So there is some time, a lot more cool weather, cool nights. And this is kohlrabi. You eat this part and it gets quite big. And it's really good, like sliced up, like stir fry. It's like in the broccoli family. And we've got kale. Kale grows really good here because it likes cool weather. And this is celery. This is the first year I've grown it. Weston wanted it. So you can kind of see it looks like celery. It smells like celery. Broccoli, but my broccoli never grows. It grows these little tiny heads. It's so disappointing. I don't know how they do it in the... See, that's my broccoli head. Super small. And I've got purple cabbage. Still, it hasn't grown a head yet. There's a whole line of purples. This is spinach that's gone to seed, but I'm going to collect the seeds, so I left it. And kale. It's a pretty kale. Now this kale is from last year, and it's flopping over. But you can see it's got the seed pods. And then the flowers for the bumblebees. And then this is spinach. It's a different type of spinach. It's New Zealand spinach. It likes warmer weather. Dill, for when I make dill pickles. I'll collect the dill heads. So I've got quite a bit of that. And I have these flowers that I planted them one year and they reseed themselves, and I leave them because they're so pretty. I think they're bachelor buttons. This is auroch. This is good for salads, and we just pick some leaves each night. Let's see what else. That's my rhubarb. It's huge. Let's see, where should we go next? Let's go back over here. Nasturtiums, or I don't know how you say it. Nasturtiums is how I say it. But they'll be pretty once they grow up bigger. I got lavender here. Horseradish. And then another kale that's gone to seed, but it's for the bees right now. And I'm going to collect the seeds once they dry up. This just planted itself. This is amaranth. So I'm going to leave that because it's really pretty when it flowers. And then this also back here is like a mustard that's gone to seed. But I left that for the bees too. These are all beans for drying. So we'll harvest them when they're dried in their pods. And then for like bean soup and stuff. Calendula, it kind of planted itself too. It grows really good, like it just reseeds itself. Under these are cantaloupe. So I'm trying to grow. Cantaloupe likes it warm, and it's not really that warm, but these cold frames I think are gonna really help this year. And then I've got a random assortment of kale, lettuce. There's some more auroch. And then these are my borage for my bees. And then a whole bunch of kale that went to seed. And this is a Swiss chard that went to seed. I'm going to collect the seeds from it too. And over here I've got more kale. It's just totally flopped over. And then more bush beans that are going to be for soups, like for drying. And then over here I've got broccoli that's also not doing so great. Like it makes tiny mini heads. Some Swiss chard that I'm not sure what happened there. I'll pull that one off. Some of the leaves, I think they had a lot of bugs chewing on them, but that's Swiss chard. And then there's more kohlrabi. And then these are beets. These plants here. And then hiding in the beets, I've got Brussels sprouts. And these are going to make Brussels sprouts like in October, November. More lettuce. No, this is some flowers. This is called horehound. You can make cough medicine from it. Like you can make your own cough drops. And they actually, in natural cough drops, they have horehound in them. Got some flowers that got eaten by bugs, but they'll be okay. More flowers. And these are Mexican sunflowers. They'll be really pretty later. This is fennel. These are my gooseberries. kind of see some of the berries. And then I've got flowers all here. They kind of just seeded themselves from last year. And they're going to be super pretty. You can see all the buds on them. And then these are currants. And they turn red when they're ready. They're kind of tart, but they're good, like really flavorful. And then all along here is asparagus. And the asparagus is going to seed. But you can see some that we could still eat. And then if you peek over in this garden, that's all garlic interplanted with pumpkins and winter squash. So you can kind of see the winter squash, and then there's garlic. It's a lot of garlic. So there's more asparagus, and then you turn the corner, and this is all asparagus. And we've picked a lot of it, but then I just let it go to seed because you can't pick all of it, otherwise the plants don't have any leaves to get their nutrition from for the next year. And this is a trellis, and these are climbing beans, and these are scarlet runner beans, and the hummingbirds love these. They make red flowers. And this is lemon balm. Lemon balm has really nice rooty. It has like compounds in it that just are really relaxing, so you can have it before bed, or if you're having like a stressful day, it works. It's really nice, and it smells good too, kind of lemony. Kale, more kale, more spinach gone to seed. All right, let's go in the greenhouse. It's really warm in here. Okay. So we've got peppers. Everything is like a little stressed just because the nights are so cold and I don't have it heated. So it does get cold in here at night, but it gets warm in here during the day. These are going to be yellow bell peppers. Weston likes yellow ones. So, and then these are, I don't remember. I don't know what they are. Oh, they're supposed to be poblanos, but they don't look like poblanos to me. Got more peppers. And then these are tomatoes that kind of go up. They're not bush tomatoes. They're indeterminates. So I train them on these strings and prune them, because otherwise it would just be crazy in here. Got some random lettuce. Another tomatillo. Then on this side, I've got, these are all, there's lettuce here, but between there's tomatoes. These are all for making sauce. So like Roma tomatoes. And they're doing pretty good. They're kind of like the bush kind though. So I've been building this trellis to try to help them, support them, because I don't have enough tomato cages. But these are all going to be bush, like for sauces. And then this trellis in the middle is where the cucumbers are going to climb up. And so I have some pickling cucumbers. And then these are the kind to just eat, like, and I will thin them, but I overplant them because usually the snails and the slugs kill most of my things, but this year they didn't, so I have too many. And then I have lettuce, and I grew the lettuce over the winter, so I'm still picking leaves off of these. Eventually these will come out though, to give the cucumbers more room. And then at this side I've got basil. So this is for my pasta sauce, just the normal basil here. And then I got this like funny looking purple basil. Really pretty. I think this is a lemon basil. Or maybe this is the lemon basil. Let's see. Yeah, this is more the lemon basil. And this is called holy basil. And this makes this smells like Christmas time. It smells so good. And this makes a really nice tea. I'll add leaves of this to the lemon balm, and it makes a really nice tea. It has a really good flavor. And then on this side I've got some more peppers. These are mini bell peppers. And these are like the regular sized. These are big peppers for those little plants. Alright, it's hot in here. I'm gonna get it out. I think that's all. Oh, I do have some more potatoes, but they're on the other side. They're actually not in the garden because we ran out of room. And then we were like, we don't have enough potatoes, so I got some more potatoes to plant. Let's see. They're right out here. Potatoes. And hopefully the deer don't come and eat them, but so far so good. So that's all of it. So we're kind of transitioning into summer.